All right, folks, welcome back. It's 1:44 in the morning. I should be asleep. But guess what? I'm recording again. And I didn't even do any preparation or like searching for examples at all. So you're probably going to see a little searching for example sequence in a couple seconds. Anyway, let me go look for an example. All right, here's one example I think I found. Okay, let's draw this out. I know you've seen this a couple times and you've been wondering what these lines are whenever I draw my fib. I did not introduce the concept we're going over. We're going over quadrants. Okay, quadrants is basically an expansion of the original mean threshold and consequent encroachment I taught you about. I think 2 episodes ago, or like literally the last episode, whichever episode it was, but it was very very recent. Quadrants. There's an upper quadrant and a lower quadrant. Okay, or upper quarter and a lower quarter, whatever you want to call it. And that's basically what it is. You have the high of the order block right here, low or the order block down here, lower quadrant of the order block, upper quadrant of the order block because it's above the upper half of it. You get it. It's above the equilibrium, so it's the upper quadrant. Duh. And then you have the lower quadrant. These quadrants, they act the same as consequent encroachment and mean threshold. Okay, if price touches it and respects it, it reacts. But they have what's the word? I can't really explain it, but not necessarily explain it, but I can't word it right. They have a specific set of instructions that they're supposed to deliver whenever they are touched and respected and in which price begins to react. There's a set of instructions, two sets of instructions that price has to begin, I guess, delivering once the quadrant is respected to confirm the respect of the quadrant. You get what I'm saying? So let's just look here for a second. This is a very small, minuscule example, but you got the order block right here. Traces back up. I think it gaps. Yeah, it literally gaps up into the order block here, hits the upper quadrant, respects it, as we can clearly see, closes below the equilibrium, and then starts delivering lower. Whenever price hits a quadrant and begins respecting it, I've already taught you all the forms of respect, so you know what I mean. Whenever it begins respecting it, two things are supposed to happen. Two. One, you should see PD arrays getting created. Okay. When I say PD arrays getting created, for example, you see how this is a bearish order block in which price is respecting it bearishly or to sell side delivery, or you get what I'm saying. It's basically just respecting it in a bearish context, right? You should see bearish PD arrays or sell side PD arrays being created. Simple, not too hard, right? While it's creating those PD arrays, what should be happening also is it should be respecting those PD arrays. Now, those two things should be happening in close proximity to the original respect of the quadrant. So when I say in close proximity, I'll say within the next 5 candles of the original, quadrant respect of where the PD rate is. So since this PD rate is on the hourly time frame or the hourly, you want to see the next 5 1-hour candles, which is 5 hours, to do those two things, in which it respected the quadrant pretty well and just started displacing lower. And also, the third thing that should happen, in which I did not mention, it should be disrespecting opposing PD rays, which is bullish PD rays. It's like a bullish fair value gap, bullish order block, bullish beep, 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 other concepts I haven't taught you yet. But that's the three things I should be doing, okay? In which it doesn't really show it much here. There's other PD rays here that you don't know of. So price is disrespecting other arrays that I have not taught you. It's doing it right in front of your face, but you just don't see it yet because I haven't taught you. But let me just find another example so you can really understand it. All right, I think I found another one. Yeah, this looks pretty good. As you can clearly see here, we got a bearish fair value gap. Price jumps up into, listen here, into the fair value gap, hits the lower quadrant, respects it pretty well. It closes inside of the fair value gap, which is fine, but still, we still have that major respect of it hitting it, closing below the lower quadrant, and then moving away from it. That's what we really want to see right there. So first, let's look for any bearish PD rays that we have. I mean, not bearish PD rays, but bullish PD rays that we have that could possibly stop price or that could possibly be a roadblock for price. We do have this gigantic order block right here. These two candles. Pull that out. So that is an entire PD ray that is against us in a sense. Let's see if I can mark it. There we go. Order block. Now, if I drop onto a lower time frame, okay, if I drop onto a lower time frame, you're going to see PD arrays getting respected and created within these three candles right here. So if I dropped onto the 5 minute or the 15 minute, you're going to see that, in which I'm going to do that in just a second. But we're going to go over this one more time. Jumps up into the lower quadrant, respects it, drops lower, and just completely drops extremely fast. How many points is that? 407 points. Jeez. And then while we're respecting that lower quadrant, we're also running through this gigantic order block here, which is what the third step or the third instruction when it comes to respecting a quadrant, any type of quadrant, upper quadrant or lower quadrant. They're both the same thing, but it's just upper or it's lower. That's it. So what is this day? The 12th of December. Let's go there. 12th of December. Here we go. Okay. I don't think that's too much. I don't think that's enough. Hold on. Oh, I can't even go that far. Doesn't even matter. Anyway, let's look here. Jesus, it just plays so fast that you couldn't even. Wow, that's just amazing. Okay, here we go. We do have another order block right here, which gets created after, which gets created and activated after we hit. I don't know why my kill zones are on. Never mind that, but which gets created and activated after we respect the lower quadrant of this fair value gap on the hourly. So we have this order block here. We jump up into it, hit the upper quadrant, drop all the way back down, close outside of the order block, which is what? A lot of respect going on here, right? A lot of respect. I would say so, me personally. It's a lot of respect. Do you say so? I think we both agree, right? In which it begins displacing very, very, very aggressively. And then we have another order block that forms right here. I mean, not order block, but fair value gap here. I'm so tired, so I'm just having a little bit of a, was that brain fog or whatever they call it? Brain fart. Anyway, it jumps up into the fair value gap, respects it, which is what it should be doing. Okay. It's doing all three things, creating PD arrays. That is, in sync with the move. So since this is you know, a bearish move, respecting a bearish PD array, there should be bearish PD arrays being created, in which price is respecting those bearish PD arrays. And then we are disrespecting opposing PD arrays, which is what? Bullish PD arrays. Very, very simple. Nothing too hard. I'm going to try to keep this, well, never mind. I got to go over one more example. My rule is to always go over at least three, but this video is already 8 minutes long from my side. But I might cut the length down while I'm editing it. All right. I think this is a pretty decent example that I found here. Yeah, this looks pretty good. And no, I'm not cherry picking this. Okay. I'm just looking around and seeing what's best so I can teach you. All right. You're probably like, oh, what about this candle here? Isn't that an order block? Yes, but the upper part of it got disrespected, so it's not an order block no more. It got violated. The next deepest up close candle would be this one, that one right there. So that would be the order block. You're probably like, didn't it get disrespected around here? We don't know. We truly don't know. But from what it's looking like, it looks like it jumped higher first then drop back down. Okay. Because mind you, for a order block to get disrespected, it has to be activated first. So I think what happened here, just from looking here, I think it jumped up higher first, dropped back down, activated the order block, and then came in back up into it and closing inside of it so it didn't necessarily violate it. But we truly don't know unless we drop down to like the hour or the 30 minute. We really don't know. But just eyeballing it, this is what we got. Anyway, you can clearly see that price respects the upper quadrant around here pretty well. And then even when we come back down into order block down here, let me get my pointer, drops back down, hits it, lower quadrant, drops back down, comes back up, lower quadrant, barely hits the upper quadrant. So we have respect here. It's respecting the quadrants, right? What should be happening? Do you know what should be happening? I know what should be happening. Do you know what should be happening? We should be doing the three things. You can say it if you want. I'm not going to say it because I've already taught you it. Okay, so you can repeat it in your head if you need to. Anyway, let's see the bullish PD rays that we have against us. We got one little gap here, very, very tiny. Another one here that's already been filled. And then we have, oh, I was about to say something I should not be saying. We have another gap right here. And we have, what is that? Is that a fat order block? Yeah, three candles. That is an order block right there. I would main honestly, I think you'd probably use this one because this is the beefier candle, and it's just the one that holds all the displacement. So you could discard those 2 candles because it's a part of this consolidation. So you can use that entire just this singular candle right here. Let me mark it out for you. Bam. Draw that out. There we go. All right, so let's look at the second part, at which it should be, well, the first and second, at which it should be creating bearish PD arrays and respecting them, right? So let's look here. Hold on. Give me a second. We've got this fair value gap here. Boom, bam. Retraces back into the fair value gap, respects the equilibrium, drops. Pretty nice. It retraces back up into this PD right here. You don't know it yet, but it retraces back up into it, fails to break the high of it, which is its violation point, respects it, drops lower. So the quadrant is doing its job. You're watching it. It's doing its job. In which we do. I think there was another array that we hit, but I just did not see it. Yeah, I think I'm slow. But there's another PD array that I haven't told you yet. That's the body is the actual array, breaks below the low, activating it, comes back up into it, drops lower, in which it does violate that order block that we mentioned just 30 seconds ago. So you can now see, or you have now learned, how quadrants influence this market. Okay. So use this skill that I taught you to enhance your skills that I've already taught you over over 38 skills so far? I think this is episode 38. I didn't even say the episode. Yeah, you can tell I'm tired. Jesus Christ. Anyway, this episode is 13 minutes long, maybe 12, maybe 11. It's based on what I do in editing. Anyway, I talk a little too much. I don't want to exhaust myself. And I'll see you in the next episode. Good luck and good trading.